Found this folder.
Thank you.
It should be there. But whatever is there, we need to.
I'm going in my head. I'm trying to visualize it in my head.
It's there, right? Is it a copy?
No, I will copy it at the end. I will request it back.
Yeah, bring it back, and
I will.
then I know where I put it. I have to put it. So return this to me, and I'll put
There's
it back.
usually, she's got one saved to the inside of a vanilla folder.
So
Yep.
No.
It's just bigger print.
I will get it up here.
We'll keep the bigger print.
Thank you.
We'll make a copy for you.
I will.
Get it back.
Can I offer you a water bottle?
I'm good, thank you. You ready?
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you? Good.
That's, I'll give you that.
Excuse me,
Did you get confirmations?
did Bruce and,
I did not.
You did not get confirmation from
But I
her?
asked Teresa. We didn't get foundations for the other two members. He just asked me if we got confirmations from the other two members, and I did not see any confirmations. I know they were sent out.
They were sent out. I didn't know because Daniel is not here.
Yeah. so
I think at
just asked.
6:30.
yeah, we got a quorum.
So
so
we have
I don't think it
quorum.
matters.
Yeah, we have quorum.
And if they show up late, so be it.
Sorry.
If they show up late, so be it, you know, as long as we got a quorum.
That's not the one?
Do we have the request to speak? This is city council, it's a request to speak when people want to speak. See if we have,
Forms are in there.
do we have it?
They're in there. There's more. There's more than one.
We open up the meeting for public comments. But listen to what the site and then you have questions on use that.
Ready to go?
Good evening, welcome to the LPA's June 7th meeting. This time, calling the meeting to order. I also request that phones be silenced for the benefit of all of us here. We have a fun meeting. Can I please get a roll call, please?
Roll call.
Just call everyone's names.
Just call everyone's name.
Yes, it's here.
Okay, who's here?
You know what, I'll take care of it. Okay. Everyone's present except for Bruce Kavanaugh.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the local minutes. Approval of minutes from the last meeting. Is there a motion on the minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? Any comments regarding the minutes from last meeting? Seeing none, I'll make a motion, move to, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The next item is public comments. If you're wishing to speak on any item that's not relevant to tonight's meeting or on the agenda, this is the time to do so. Seeing none, I will close the public comment at this time. We currently do not have any public meetings on the agenda, but we do have 2 public hearings on the agenda. So if anybody wishing to speak on those agenda items that's not the applicants, there's a request form to speak on the back of the building office, excuse me. At this point, I will listen to, is the applicant on ordinance number 1725, is the applicant present?
Yes.
If you'll come up to the mic and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Brent Lenson with Kinley Moore, 189 South Orange Avenue 1.
Thank you. If you just say we're used to people being
I know. All right, so what you see on the screen, the proposed application in front of you, the northeast corner of Central and Franklin. The properties were formerly having a future land use designation of office with City Council's transmittal of the 2045 plan. Those were recently changed to a future downtown transition. As part of the application in front of you now, we are requesting to rezone the properties from office commercial OC and floodplain at P1 to mixed-use historic or downtown district perimeter. So that is the MUD-HDP. Proposed use for the site that we'll be getting into final engineering later down the line is for retail with outdoor storage. That's really all we have. Applicant for now. I believe staff will have a little bit more to add to this. We'll be available to answer.
Staff,
This is a request for the LPA to consider change of zoning map amendment for approximately 2.4 acres from OC, office commercial, and floodplain for downtown district perimeter. The property is located on the east side of Central Avenue, north side of East Franklin Street. Hilton, as just mentioned, his name is Brent Lenson with Kenmore, and the owner is Robert Parcell with Sanford Ace. This zoning map amendment will require 2 public hearings, one before the LPA and one before City Council. Tonight, subject property is currently designated with the Office Future Land Use Designation and OC Floodplain 1 zoning district. The Floodplain 1 zoning district no longer exists. So this property will, FP1 has no entitlement. The City Council transmitted the 2045 comprehensive plan designates this property as downtown transition. transition, future land use designation. The R1 zoning district is inconsistent with both the office future land use designation and the proposed down future land use designation. A zoning map amendment is required to a zoning district consistent with the subject property's proposed downtown transition future land use designation. The applicant intends to develop the property as a retail with outdoor storage. Retail with outdoor storage is unpermissible within the OC and floodplain 1 zoning district. Retail with outdoor storage is permissible within the proposed NDHDP zoning district. Thus, the purpose of this change in zoning map amendment is to designate the property with that downtown NDHDP, which is proposed downtown transition future land use designation. Comprehensive Plan 1-1.1.4 requires the city to evaluate certain criteria when reviewing zoning map amendment, and that results of that study can be found in your staff report. So staff found that the NBD HDP zoning district is the area of the historic downtown district adjacent to the core district. Primary uses include professional office, retail, residential, institutional, and mixed use. The proposed NBD HDP zoning district is a permissible zoning district. The proposed downtown transition future land use, and it's compatible with the adjacent zonings and existing land uses. There is adequate transportation, water, and sewer, and solid waste capacity to accommodate the proposed change in zoning. The proposed zoning map amendment adds to the efforts to increase the supply of non-residential lands available for economic. Staff recommends approval of ordinance 1725 based on the findings and the supporting data inventory and analysis that is provided to you in your report. The city attorney reviewed the ordinance and did not offer any objections. City council is scheduled to hear ordinance 1725 on July 18, 2022. It is recommended that the LPA conduct a public hearing and recommend adoption of ordinance 1725. This act's presentation, and we're available for questions.
At this time, I will open up for public comment. If anyone wants item. Seeing none, I will close that and move to the board.
The outdoor storage, can you go into detail about what
I
that?
would ask the applicant
That works.
that question.
Hello, I'm Robert Parcell, the owner of
Any full name and address?
Robert Gregory Parcell, 344 Plantation Club Drive. Okay, so we currently have the Ace Hardware store that's in the shopping center, just a few hundred yards down the road. When there's been there knows that we have pallets of mulch and dirt and things like that available for sale. That would be the outdoor storage that we would be looking for.
Oh, okay.
That was my question. So basically, the stuff, it's going to be behind the building, assuming?
Well, yes, behind the building from the road standpoint,
Yeah.
in front of the building from the entrance standpoint, because you have us pushed to the corner where the entrance will really be in the parking lot.
Oh, so you're going to have your entrance in the back because of the way that lot's situated?
Well, that's because of the way it was described to us that the city wants the building situated. We originally wanted the building pushed back, but we were told that it needs to be pushed to us in front of the road.
So the outdoor storage consists of basically just storage for your mulch and your...
Correct. And then on a daily basis, we would wheel out plant carts with live plants for sale, things like that, which would be at the front entrance, which is really all hidden from the road. And then probably have some sort of fencing on the sides to the side of the road.
That's all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Is your entrance off of Franklin or?
So the entrance, it's kind of hard to see with that, what
I
I
can
showed there.
provide some clarity to that too.
That's okay.
So we did meet with FDOT preliminarily about this. If you're looking at Central Boulevard, we obviously have a very short property frontage on Central.
Right.
We were able to agree to a right out only on Central, located as far north as you could possibly get it, based on the limited frontage we have. And then on Franklin, we basically have a wetland on the far east side.
Right.
So we've located the access point as physically far east without impacting the wetland. And that is going to be the main access point to the site is off of Franklin.
Okay, okay. So you anticipate not impacting the wetland?
Correct.
No.
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't want to get into that.
Okay, that's fine. And what sort of retail are you talking about?
Ace Hardware. It's an Ace Hardware
Are
store.
you going to put a new store in?
Correct. We're moving the existing store. Within 3 to 5 years, they're going to be redeveloping the current shopping center.
Oh, so you moved,
And we will
okay.
have no home.
Right, okay, that makes perfect sense.
We really want to stay in Oviedo.
Right. Okay, that's all I had, thank you.
Any questions, anybody else? I have one, the ingress, where is that going to be located?
The ingress will be off the front.
Only?
Correct.
So the ingress will be on Franklin, egress will be on Central?
There's ingress and egress on Franklin, and egress only on Central.
Okay. And so my understanding from me, staff, and my head a little bit, you're saying the building, the front of the building is actually going to be facing the property next door?
It's going to, the front of the building is primarily going to frame the corner. So you're going to frame the corner of almost building to the setback line on both the south and the west side of the property.
And the entrance is going to be where?
North of that and west of, or east of that.
Okay. All the storage, because though he did make some comment that putting up some fencing,
Yeah.
with all due respect, I mean, it does look like a mess sometimes over there in the corner. And that is the main thoroughfare entrance to the city, so,
Right.
keep that in mind.
Yeah, it'll be as far to the back, away from the primary intersection as we can.
Anybody have questions?
Traffic question, I don't know if I should drop one.
Okay.
I was wondering, it says, I think it says something about, we would catch up to the traffic in 2045, is that correct, traffic study?
One thing I just had before you start talking, because it's going downtown transition with future land use, the traffic was already taken into account when we did the comprehensive. Conklin was the one who did the traffic study for the entire comprehensive plan. So it was calculated at that point, but they have also provided a study based on what they're intending to do. And I want to talk about.
Yeah, I guess I was getting to that there seems to be a big difference between what has been under office versus what would be if we change.
So and with design, what we're required to do is to base it on the most intent. They're also allowed to provide us the traffic based on on what they're proposing to do it as. So you have the two scenarios, and Carport can talk more about the two scenarios.
Okay.
The traffic analysis that was provided for this property, part of the zoning, includes comparison of the highest and best use between what is current zoning and then the potential zoning, proposed zoning. So that's what they have provided. With respect to the capacity analysis along Central and Franklin, different requirements by the city, the project was not significant on either of the proposed development program, the retail with the outdoor storage. So analysis was only analyzed, capacity was only analyzed for the adjacent streets. There is adequate capacity for their.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to add one thing to that. Like was mentioned, it's the worst case scenario in terms of the FAR potential for it, which was, I believe, I'm going off memory, around 42,000.
42,906.
The reality is, we're not putting anywhere near 42,000 square feet on the site. I physically can't park it, I can't meet stormwater, and all those other things that I got to cram on here. So the reality is, I think we're going to be less, somewhere in the 20,000 square feet was the prior entitlement. We're going to fall below that.
Any other questions?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of ordinance number 1725 as an amendment with the start work.
Second. Thank you. Any discussion among us?
Just real quickly, I think that's one of my favorite hardware stores in the area. It always came to say that, and I'm happy that they're keeping it in the community because there's nothing that feels.
Clarify that.
Yeah, it feels like a community hardware store than that East in Oviedo. So I'm happy that they're keeping it local, and I also appreciate that the store trying to just keep it out in the elements where everybody can see. So tries to kind of make it physically more appealing for the neighborhood as well.
I would agree with that. Frequent there often, enjoy the store, glad you're keeping it in Oviedo.
Thank you. I will. All right, seeing no other comments, all those in favor of approving motion? All those in approving ordinance number 1727, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Say 1725.
Next ordinance is 1726. Is the applicant here? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Don Baker with DRMP 941 Lake Baldwin Lane, Baldwin Avenue. Office, called out as the warehouse. We're calling it an art studio because of the owner having that in there. It almost split half and half. 50 that we've been able to tear down and change.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request for LPA to recommend approval of zoning map amendment to change the zoning district of approximately 0.47 acres from residential R1 to RP residential office, professional office. The property is located on the northwest side of Holland Avenue and approximately east of West Broadway. The consultant is Doug with DRN, and the owner is Kevin Curley with Curley Engineering. The subject property, the zoning map amendment requires two public hearings, one before the LPA, one before the City Council. This is the first of the two public hearings. So the subject property is currently designated with the Office Future Land R1 zoning. The property existing Office Future Land Use designation R1 zoning districts are not consistent. A zoning map amendment is required to a zoning district consistent with the subject property Office Future Land Use designation. The applicant intends to develop the property as an office and an art studio with ancillary storage. Office will be the primary use of the building. Non-residential developments are not permissible within the R1 zoning district consistent with Office Future Land Use designation. And the zoning districts that are consistent with Office would be R. An office is a permissible use within the RP zoning district and is the least in the zoning district consistent with the Office Future Land. That's the purpose of the zoning map amendment, is to designate the property with the RC zoning district, RP zoning district. Comprehensive Plan Policy 1.1.14 requires the city to evaluate certain criteria when reviewing the zoning map amendment. And we have provided in the staff report the analysis of that policy. So in summary, the RP zoning district is designed to accommodate a mixture of residential and professional office uses, primarily in areas that are no longer viable for single-family use because of high traffic volumes or other market forces. These areas are often transition zones between arterials or intense residential districts. The applicant requests the proposed RP zoning district is permissible zoning district within the existing Office Future Land Use designation, and is compatible with zoning districts, future land uses, and there is adequate traffic, transportation, water, sewer, and solid waste capacity to accommodate the proposed change in zoning district. The proposed zoning map amendment adds to the efforts to increase of non-residential lands available for economic use. Staff recommends approval of ordinance number 1726 based on authority data, inventory, and analysis. The city attorney also reviewed it and offered no objections. City council is scheduled to consider ordinance 1726 on July 18, 2020. It is recommended that the LPA conduct a public hearing and recommend approval of ordinance number 1720. Available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'll open it up for public comment on what anybody wishing to speak on the project.
Can my wife speak also? Then my wife speak also?
Sure. Just to keep it for the record as well.
Okay.
She can speak.
I'll give it.
I didn't bring my reading glasses. So it's a plan like an art studio?
Or just state your name and address.
Oh, my name's John Conrad. I live at 591 Allen, property next to mine.
Okay.
Which, when I first bought that property, I was thinking about buying that because Alzheimer's gotten worse, so she's staying over there in Memory Lane. Anyway, I got a thing in the mail saying that they were going to make it business, and I just wanted to ask, art studio and an office, is that what they were explaining? And so, and it would just be like regular park, like the concrete place across the street on the other side of the bike trail. It's not like that, it's just like a small office building.
Right.
The architect person?
Are
they?
She's the director of a city.
Well, a hurricane a few years ago, there's a big tree, that property that lays over the growth line. Are you guys gonna, if you did that property, you gonna put up some kind of fencing, or do I need to?
These are all site plan questions, or?
Oh, okay.
and we can sit down with you and show, you know, the sign.
Okay.
To allow the use, it's okay, I'm just explaining to you, these are all
details.
questions and then we can answer. But if you're talking about buildings going to be laid out on the side, then we can pay.
Right.
Yeah, sit, John, just make sure you sit down with Dr.
I
Teresa,
will,
shoot,
I will.
or Deborah. You know, they will work through it with you 100%.
Did you want to say something? Got questions on property? You just talked about it.
Excuse me, let me bring you this.
Thank you.
I don't know whether my questions need to be addressed or whether it's something.
Well, it's quite all right. Just go ahead and just let us know what's on your mind. Just make sure you state your name and address for the record.
Okay.
please.
Linda Baldwin, 591 Allen Avenue, Oviedo, Florida, 32765. Property, obviously next door to the property in question. My question concerns the fact that what I think I heard you say was that it is going to potentially be, besides an art studio, also a retail portion associated with it, or
No, I
just
think-
offices for
I think it's
professionals?
just to be the office for the artist.
Okay.
I don't think it's a rental office space.
Okay,
I don't believe.
You know, like
And-
the applicant addressed that as
Yeah.
well.
okay. So questions about the size of the building and the placement and things are something I addressed with her. And then questions regarding the traffic issue on Allen Avenue, which if any of you have been up and down Allen Avenue, people
Yeah.
fly through there. We've had the police out several times trying to control it. Nobody pays attention to the speed limit. I don't know if that's being considered in this issue, if that's something I talked to this woman about or address all of you with, but it's a concern.
Okay.
We got them to put up, they put up two speed limit signs, but that's.
Nobody pays
Nobody.
attention.
We've got
When
animals.
you have your
and
meeting
grandchildren.
with the staff,
Right.
whatever you do, just bring those concerns up. It's on the record now, so everybody will know about it. City council members will also know about it when they vote on it as well. But just sit down with them and they will clarify a lot of things and make you feel comfortable with what's going on. And we'll ask the developer to come up and clarify the office space real quick after you sit down. We'll go
Okay.
from there so he can clarify that.
I appreciate that. I'm not opposed to professional. I'm one myself, but nonetheless, I have a lot of questions about this because it's next to our home.
Understandable.
Thank you.
Warehouse space predominantly is going to be for the art studio, and then he's going to have, and so he's looking at.
Okay. So it's going to be a small, professional IT guys. There's not a lot of traffic with IT guys in there.
Yeah, there's only 8 parking spaces.
I'm in the IT
We
business.
could always use an IT guy.
Pardon?
So we could always use an IT guy.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions from board staff or applicant? It's a pleasure, board. Well, let me close the public hearing. I'll close the public hearing. What is the pleasure of staff, board?
I'll make a motion to recommend adoption of ordinance number 66.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion among us?
I'd like to just encourage the people that live next door. I will tell you that you'll have less traffic and less, and the only reason I say that is because I bought an, and I'm out there at 6 o'clock at night and I don't o'clock in the morning, and so my neighbors, hope they appreciate that, except for the chicken part. I leave the chicken there, but, so I just want to encourage you and definitely meet with our staff, they're amazing.
It's very important that you step without that. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of ordinance number 1726, zoning amendment, aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item is discussion items. Anybody have anything in particular they would like to say, bring up?
Okay, super quick.
Yes.
Both people never come and speak on behalf of things. I appreciate the fact that they came down here to partake. Our staff always does an excellent job considering all.
Good point. We don't get a lot of people coming to talk.
So it's
That's why we don't exist. Anything else? Future date meetings, we have June 21st and July 5th. Do we have
July
anything coming
5th.
up?
like the day after the 4th.
Apparently.
Now,
Day before the 6th, too.
We do have a name on the bid.
We do?
We do. It's a P, Oviedo Multi-RI.
Fireworks.
Fireworks. In more ways than one. How about, nothing for June 21st then?
Not at this time.
Anybody taking any kind of vacation in July? At this point?
I wasn't going to, but
That's a good one.
just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, well, just for a reason I don't believe you're kidding. Okay, I will be gone at the end of July though, the 22nd, just going about 10 days. Yeah.
What's the close meeting?
Yeah, let's do that. Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, sir. We are adjourned.